Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. It's Kiera and Tiff, and we are putting a beautiful bow on this labor of love today to help you guys with these 12 systems. You guys have been rocking and rolling with us for 13 weeks. Give yourself a massive, massive, massive high five hug. Tiff and I are doing that with you. Tiff, welcome back. Let's put a bow on this. How are you today?
I'm good. Can it be a pretty red bow?
Absolutely.
Like that shiny new car bow.
That's surely the color in my mind. Yes. Yeah. Same. I'm on your exact same page. Red bow for you guys. We're kicking it off. I know we had you guys do all of this for the end of the year. Basically, we took you through a deep dive SWOT analysis utilizing the 12 system themes that we feel every practice should have. So I hope you guys got so much value for it. If you loved it, please be sure to email in hello@thedentalteam.com. Also leave us those 5-star reviews. But let us know because this was just an idea Tiff and I made up, just like our 12 systems, just like this company, like legit made up out of thin air, giving you guys what we feel truly would benefit and bless your lives. So if this was helpful, please let us know. Just give us that feedback. It really helps us. You can leave it in the 5-star reviews. That way we can see how we can help you. But today, let's put a bow on this. Also, shout out to all those of you who are joining us on Ops Manual. Guys, the door is shut. There's no more. Unless this happens to release before the end of the year, then you better get in board. But I'm pretty confident this is in January. We recorded it early. Yes, guys, we batch record sometimes. So here we go. Otherwise, we'll freaking forget. I'm not going to lie to you. That is really why we have to batch record. Tiff and I were like, do we wait? And we're like, we'll forget. So here we go. The 12 systems, guys, you should have, I hope, a little notebook, an Excel spreadsheet, whatever you chose to do, where you rated either on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, all of your areas. So for Tiff and I, with management, mastery, and leadership, that was system 1. Doctor optimization, billing with ease, 5-star patient experience, smooth sailing scheduling, maximize case acceptance, dynamite dental assistance, elevated hygiene, confident marketing, ops manual creation, practice profitability, and A-team hiring and onboarding. Those are the 12 systems, guys. Those are the 12 themes. We took you through a checklist. So now, if you guys don't remember, Tiff and I, we knocked it out of the park on our hiring and onboarding. If you missed that, Tiff walked you through how to do a very sophisticated onboarding that you can mimic and mirror for your practice. You heard about our practice profitability, and year to date, not as high. System-wise, pretty great. Ops manual, shoot, we're really awesome. We've got that one like locked and loaded. Confident marketing, give us a 1.5. Like, forget that system. Elevated hygiene, we didn't really add ourselves to that one. Our dynamite assistance, oh yeah, surely have a 1.5 there. Maximize case acceptance, oh yeah, 1.5 on that one. Don't worry, I remember all the bad ones, guys. Smooth sailing scheduling, doing pretty good. 5-star patient experience, we were like at a 3. Our billing with ease, we're actually pretty dang good there. We've got that dialed in. We've got our systems in play. I don't think we rated us, but I'd give us a sure 4 out of 5, 8.5 out of 10. We've got our billing dialed in. We don't mess up. That was because I got burned bad. Tipped, like it was really bad. I had thousands and thousands of dollars in AR at the beginning. So that one, I think we're pretty good on our billing section. So we're good. Consultant optimization. Tiff and I talked about how we could utilize our consultants more. They could learn things. And we actually have a system in play where we do monthly trainings for our consultants to learn it. Tiff's been doing another labor of love of our Dental Team IP. So that one I feel is not perfect, but we have something in play working on that. And then our management mastery and leadership. Oh, Tiff gave herself a low number, if you remember, back on being a leader. This is an area where I do agree our leadership department could be more open, honest, have those honest conversations. So if I was a practice listening in, management mastery and leadership was one of our lowest ones. Our case acceptance, aka like our sales process, our assistance, our marketing. Those are our 4 systems. Tiff, that's actually not too bad. Out of 12 systems, putting Dental A Team's company exposed and vulnerable to the public, I feel like 4 out of 12 systems where we're not doing too shabby. I mean, maybe we actually know a thing or two and can consult on these things. What do you say?
I agree. I think we do. I think it was fun. I think it was really good. And I think just like why we made this, the reason that we made this whole thing was for practices, and for our clients too, for us, to really be able to see where are we going to get the most bang for our buck if we're putting our attention on something, because we spread our attention so thin all the time, trying to do everything. It's good to see, okay, what's actually like sailing on its own, what's working right now in comparison to what's not working, because then I can shift some of my attention to what's not working, but not fully, so I'm not checking back in on what is working. You know what I mean? So It's really cool to be able to see that, I think, for our company too, because I don't know that that's something that we do often enough, and now I'm sure we'll do it quarterly, right? We'll do it on our traction meetings.
Great idea, Tiff.
It's important. Yeah, a little SWOT, and I'll add it to our SWOT analysis. But I think it's why we did it. So it's really cool to see that, and fun to see areas where we excel. And truth be told, we're excelling in the areas that I wouldn't have really guessed,
I totally agree. And this is a first time for us too. I've never hot seated our own company on the podcast with Tiff, where we were just going to straight up tell you how it really is over here. But that was one of my biggest objectives starting this podcast. And I told Tiff, and I have stayed congruent. I really struggle in a world where there is so much noise to ensure that people that you're listening to really take their responsibilities serious. So I never want you to come peel back the Wizard of Oz curtain at Dental A Team and say, what the heck? They said that on the podcast they do this, and in real life they don't really do that. Because I feel like that's a very unfair expectation to give you guys. And so you heard it real raw and honest out there of how our company's really doing. And I hope you did the same thing for your company. So now let's walk you guys through how to actually put this into action. 1, like Tiff just did, celebrate your freaking wins. Tiff, I'm actually real proud of us. I'm like, dang, our ops manual, check that box. Practice profitability, check that box. Hiring and onboarding. But that was like years of blood, sweat, and tears. Like we did not have those boxes checked for a long time. So just know, no matter where you are on this path, it takes hard work and sweat and tears to get there. But also, Tiff, doesn't it feel real good to be like, dang, we got that one. Like we got that one almost under wraps. Like not totally, but we're pretty dang good on that.
Yeah, I think it's like proof to the pudding of this statement. Like it just has to hurt bad enough, right? And like we were running ourselves so ragged, trying to like juggle all the balls. We're like, no, I'll just do it. To where we were like, I actually don't know when I'm going to do it because I don't have time. I have no capacity. And so just like our doctors and our office managers, like it just has to hurt bad enough and then you'll do it.
Mm-hmm. And I also think like Tiff, without doing this whole process, as a company, we did look at these systems and say like, we don't have a good hiring and onboarding, but it was more of a reactive rather than a proactive. It was like, dude, that's a bad pain point. Let's fix that. But I think had we done this, we may or may not have put our efforts in different places. So now you guys have a legend, just like we have a legend to look to see. You heard, and you guys can actually SWOT analysis with us. I sometimes think it's easier to do on someone else than yourself. So practice on Dental A Team first and then go for yourself. So of the 12 systems we just listed off, we have case acceptance, we have management and leadership, we have, what were our other, confident marketing, and then
Doctor optimization.
Yep, our consultant optimization, we could surely work on. There was like the 5-star patient experience. We had ourselves at a 3, but I'd say for the top 3 ones, we've got case acceptance, marketing, and our last one, gosh, I'm like trying to remember. Looking back. Leadership and management. There we go. So leadership and management, case acceptance, and marketing. So you guys, and I'm going to ask Tiff, this is on the spot. Like there is no right or wrong. If you were consulting Dental A Team, would you say work on your maximize case acceptance? Would you work on your marketing? Or would you work on your leadership first? Which one of those 3, which actually, I mean, those are 3 pretty big hitters, actually. I mean, if we could pull out the hardest ones, ding, 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 dental A teams for the win. But I mean, that clearly means we've been taking care of lower hanging fruit. But of those three, which one of those areas, if we could only choose one of those areas, would make dental A team as a business, pretend we're a practice, make us better? Our marketing, our case acceptance, or leadership? Tiffy, go. What do you vote?
I think if I were to think of like tangible ways for them to flow into each other, because that's what I would do for a practice, right? Like if I start with marketing, but we don't have case acceptance dialed in or a leadership team that's working on it, does that make sense, right? Am I going to get all these leads and then not know what to do with it, and get all these new patients and not know what to do with them? So I would say if I were going to start somewhere, it would probably be, I think the truth be told, I'd probably start with case acceptance and then leadership and then marketing.
Dang, 3 for 3. Tiff and I are aligned without even being in the same state. And I love, Tiff, that you just walked down your thought process as to why. Because some people might say, like, go for marketing. Absolutely. If you were someone who thought marketing, you aren't wrong. Marketing would be a great thing because we've got to generate the leads. We've got to get the new patients in the door. But if we can't close those cases, it doesn't matter. We're just going to be losing them out the door, and it's going to be a revolving door. And to Tiff's point, we could say, well, we got to work on leadership. But if you remember our rating, we're a freaking 1.5 guys on case acceptance. And we're like a 3 to 4 to 3 on our leadership. Okay? Our 1.5 is radically a bigger pain point than our leadership team. Our leadership team is not terrible. It's got some areas that we surely need to work on. But I think if we're going to dedicate our efforts, just like Tiff talked about, like thinking back and looking to see which one flows into it, case acceptance, hands down. I thought the exact same order, Tiff, of case acceptance, leadership development, getting that trust open, and then focusing on the marketing. Now, can a team be working on different things? Yes, we actually have a marketing team. Well, what one should they be working on this year? Ding, 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 marketing. Yes, they should be getting that up and going. But as an overall practice, case acceptance needs to be our zone to fix radically for next year if we're going to operate. So for you guys, what is your big ones? What are your top 3? Like you might be at 1s across the board. So if you're at a 1 across the board on all of them, 1, I gave you a high five. Tiff gave you a hug. That's probably how we actually would operate.
Yeah, that's true.
But the cool thing is that you actually are here and you admitted that. So if you're 1s across the board, pick the one that flows in that if you fixed it first would help. So Tiff, looking at all these, let's say there is an office, which I hope no one is. There's a 1 across the board on management mastery, doctor optimization, billing with ease, 5-star patient experience, smooth sailing scheduling, maximize case acceptance, dynamite dental, elevated hygiene, confident marketing, operations manual, practice profitability, and hiring and onboarding. Which one would you choose as the number 1? I have my answer. What's your answer? Where would you start, Tiff?
I think if I were to say, if I had to choose one, my go-to, my first go-to is always the billing department and getting AR decreased. So if you're telling me that your billing with ease is a 1, that's telling me you've probably got high AR and you don't have a good process for sending out claims and statements, etc. So if I ramp up more production, there's more coming through the door, but I'm not fixing the billing, it's counterproductive. So I would probably start with billing.
Tiff and I are on the exact same wavelength. I was going for practice profitability, which the only way to fix practice profitability is for your billing to be improved. So I would do CEO side, looking at the numbers, making sure I have those dialed in and start to actually look at my P&Ls to see where I could cut while having my team collect money. Like we've got to fix those 2 things. But truth be told, the thing that's going to help the most before looking at my numbers is billing, just like Tiff said. So you guys see, I probably would have gone for practice profitability. Tiff would be coaching on billing with ease. Neither one of those are wrong. We both were in the same vein, but I actually think I'd side with Tiff after like saying it out loud. Because if we don't have money coming in, it doesn't matter if I'm looking at that P&L. Que sera, sera. I can't do anything with it. So for you guys, this is where we can't fix it all. If you try to, good luck. Go read the book Essentialism and you'll see that you're going to be spinning your wheels literally because there's too much to do. So I want you to rank, just like Tiff and I did, your top 1, 2, and 3 areas this year that you want to improve. Then from there, I want you to set a tangible goal. For us, for example, this is me on the spot. I'm already setting up our goals for next year. Tiff, we're in October. Shh, don't tell. We recorded it in October. But Dental A Team's already a jump ahead of you guys. So we need to set up and we need to fix our sales experience. We need to hire somebody in that department. We need to ramp it up, or we need to figure out what is going on there. But there needs to be a deep dive of tracking, reporting. That needs to be fixed immediately. So that is step one. And the way we would do that is just like you guys with case acceptance, is our close rate and our lead rate need to be X. So for us, we need X number of new patients and X number of cases closed. Those will be the two big things we're going to work on this year. Those are measurables. That's where we're going to go. That's going to improve a bunch of our systems for us this year. Next thing, if I were putting one, Tiff, how would you put an actual, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but hey, welcome to consulting, right? This is what we do all day long. What would you say would be a way to measure and track the leadership and management mastery to get that one up? Because we've already fixed our marketing and case acceptance actually within that one of our leads and our closes being X amount. How would you put a measurable goal on the leadership department to help us this year? I don't actually know, which is why I deferred to you. I'm sure I'll come up with something. Don't worry.
By January at least. I think I look at this with practices too, and it's often hard to gauge like true leadership because I think that it's based on the accountability that they're placing on the company or their department. So I honestly feel like, especially for us, what we'd have to look at is the development of the leader in our leadership team would be the success of the department that they're over. So if I'm over consultants, I'm the lead consultant, it would be taking, a list like this and looking at this with each consultant, like the scheduling and the efficiency and client satisfaction, and making sure that all of those things are in place. If my department is thriving and I'm checking in with them, I'm doing those accountabilities, I think that would be one way to measure it. So it would be the success of the department. So to each measurable item of the department's success, so client satisfaction, scheduling with ease, deliverables being completed, one-on-ones being done, I feel like those would be measurable items, putting a percentage or a number to those for that leader, for the department.
Hello, Dental A Team listeners. This is Kiera, and you guys, how was your 2022? I want you to look back and tell me, was it the year of years, or was it a really hard year? Did you crush it, or did it crush you? This is the time, guys, for end of year, Dental A Team Platinum is welcoming you, where we will physically fly to your practice. We will come and we will elevate your dreams and make them into a reality. And guys, space is limited and prices are going up. This is not a sales pitch. This is not something where I'm trying to scare you into it. I'm just facing the reality of inflation is here, flights are expensive, and I want to see as many people as we possibly can and serve as many as we can. So if you want to be part of our elite group of people, there are limited spaces because our consultants can only see as many. We are taking on 10 new platinum offices by the end of the year, and that's it. That's all we have space for. So if you want to be one of the elite 10, come join us. Be a part of our top-notch elite doctor community. Be a part of our office manager and hygiene and front office communities. Get your operations manual done and live the life that you've only been dreaming of today. Email me hello@thedentalateam.com and make 2023 truly a year that's unforgettable. We are a complete tax write-off. And like I said, we are only taking 10 offices. So don't get left behind. Be one of those 10. And I cannot wait to give you the biggest, warmest welcome to completely and utterly changing your life for good. Welcome to the Dental A Team. I can't wait for you to join us. hello@thedentalateam.com. Cheers to 2023 and making you your best self yet. That's actually really brilliant. I wrote it down as an idea of creating a department checklist of what KPIs, if you will, per department. And guys, we're making this up for Dental A Team, which we've never had to really dive into. We don't consult Dental A Team. I mean, it'd be great. Tiff, maybe we should. I'll consult you. You consult me. We'll figure it out. But we've never done this. But for an office, If your departments and your leadership is down, agreed. How are those KPIs of every department? Do you have that set up? And then I also think it'd be on the number of, I think like meeting wise, I know my weak spot, the spot in leadership that I really need to evolve is the number of conversations that I have like right away rather than just letting them sit and simmer, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I would be measuring that. Yes, it's an intangible, but I think it's a way to measure, because I think like for me, that's where our leadership team isn't quite as strong. Like we sit there and kind of almost have artificial harmony, more so on my side, where I haven't quite been able to master that. So if the team knows that that's my goal, especially in an intimate leadership team, they'll push me and say, Kiera, did you say everything you actually wanted to say? And I might be like, no, I didn't. Or yes, I did. But I think for me, building more of that trust of getting our whole team to ask that question in our leadership team, to really start asking those questions as well. So doing the department checklist, and then also talking about, are we really saying what needs to be said, or are we holding back? And just knowing it might be, like full transparency, it might be ugly for the first couple of months. Like that might be a real rough patch for Dental A team. Just fair warning. Because we're virtual, guys. We don't even see each other. It's not like we can like hug it out or like bring chocolates the next day. Like you've got to do this virtual on Zoom and hope and pray that your messages are coming through. So that's where I would say for that. But hopefully you guys just saw how Tiff and I broke this down to now we as a company we need X number of leads every month. So marketing is going to be working on that. We need our sales or new patient, our case acceptance to be X amount for this year. And then we're going to have department checklists per department, give those KPIs and those checklists for Tiff to do with the consultants, for Shelby to do with the HQ team, and for Pat to do with marketing. And then for the leadership team to be having those conversations that need to be had. That just became Dental A team's focus for next year. Boom. Shuckalacka. Like, sweet Tiff, we can just pack up the year and call it a day. Like we now know where we've got to go, and there is clarity there. So now we can either go hire coaches, we can set goals around that, we can build the systems around that, and we're not spinning our wheels trying to get everything done, but really doing the things that will move us forward. Tiff, I feel like you've got a bajillion thoughts around this that you do with offices. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think if we're sticking to like the leadership point, I do a lot of work with leadership with practices, and it can be difficult if you make it difficult, right? To figure out what those tangible items are. And I think it's hard, or if you're not even just looking at leadership, but you're looking across the board at these pieces and you're trying to figure out, what do I work on first? Like, think about what's going to make the biggest impact the quickest, and the biggest positive impact the quickest. And positive impact is always, is my business growing? Is my business dying? So if your business is not growing, it's dying. And if you're picking something that's not going to grow the business, right? So like we talked about, if we pick marketing instead of billing first, like you're going to market and get all of these new patients in, but is the billing department actually collecting the money? So you're not getting your ROI because your collections aren't there. So what is going to actually help your practice thrive and your business grow right now? Choose that one. And then metrics wise, always have a metric, because if there are no metrics, there's no measurement for success. You don't know when you've accomplished what you're looking for. So if your billing department, maybe your collections right now is at like 65, 85%. You're like just dishing out money, right? Your overhead is so high and you're just not bringing anything in. Set those metrics. So if you're at an 85% collections, right, we want you to be 98%. So set a metric to be 90% by the end of the quarter, right? Or the end of the month if you can, right? But by the end of the quarter, or take a look and say, if I had a practice one time, oh my gosh, Kiera, what was it? It was like $275,000 in over 90, right? And I got these numbers and Kiera's like, this office needs your billing help. And I get these numbers, these reports, and I was like, what in the world is happening? So then what I did was broke it down and said, okay, we need $10,000 off of this metric right here, $10,000 off of this portion by this date. And so they worked their tails off and they did it. But if it's too big, too overwhelming, you're not going to do it. So if you feel like you've got 1s to 3s across the board and you've got 6 to work on this year, chunk it out and say, okay, by this date, I'm going to have this metric fixed in this department.
I think that that's actually really, really smart, Tiff, on that point, because the goal is also, as you said that, I feel like we need to create some clarity. if you are a 1.5 hashtag Denali team, I'm not going for a 5 out of 5 by the end of the year. If I can even get us up to a 3, that's massive success, guys. So really be realistic and chunk it into smaller pieces. For me to go from a 1.5 to a 5 and be perfect and have the best thing ever, like I would absolutely freaking love to do that. And Tiff knows I'm like, deep down, I really want a 5. But that's so unrealistic, and that's how we burn teams out. That's how we don't get momentum. That's how we don't get traction. So really, really be smart to chunk it in, work your tails off on it. But hopefully, guys, this helped you really assess your practice and then decide. Now, full transparency, it's hard to actually be objective in your own company. Tiff knows this. This is why we consult. It is so easy when we go into a practice for us to see what your biggest piece is. It was actually really easy for me and Tiff to look at it and be like, all right, well, if those are our systems, this is what we need to do. And then we can move forward with it. But I really, really, really feel like you guys need to make sure that you have somebody objectively look at your main pieces. You can have your leadership team do it and agree on it. You can hire us to help consult your team and help set your priorities right, and then help break it down into quarters and smaller chunks and hold you accountable. But this is where you did the hard work to assess each department. But the actual work is going to come by staying consistent and consistently hitting these goals and focusing on these departments. It's real easy. I promise you. Let's say, and I hope this doesn't happen, Tiff, I shouldn't even say it, but like, let's put it out there. Dental A team, our operations manual gets deleted. Okay. That would be a tragedy. Tiff, download it right now. Download it right now. That way we don't lose it. Okay. Like get that whole thing downloaded. I'll tell Shelby right now. Ops manual download ASAP just in case. It was so much work. But I literally just wrote a note. So let's say our ops manual got deleted midway through the year, but yet we still need to fix our case acceptance, our marketing, and our leadership. At this point, what the heck do you do? Do you pivot and scramble and be like, well, shoot, we got to freaking get the ops manual done. Everybody pause all the other goals, work on ops manual. The answer is maybe. You might have to pivot, but that doesn't mean that we let go of these other goals. They still keep moving forward. Maybe we take one quarter off and we're like, all right, all hands on deck, build the ops manual. It got deleted. We should have thought about that. Don't worry, guys. I think of this often. I'm like, download the entire Google Drive just so I have a backup of this point in time in case everything got lost. But the bottom line is, throughout the year, you've got to stay consistent with the goals you set to get to where you want to go. And I think it's really easy when we do these types of things to get shiny object syndrome, to get FOMO, to hear on a podcast of a great system that we actually lose our focus of where we ultimately know we need to go, because the sexy part is not in the discipline, but that's the part that's actually going to get you your goals you want. So I would say if you know yourself and you're a really good goal setter, rock on. I am a really freaking great goal setter. I follow up with them. I've got a good method in there. I also have coaches to keep me accountable. Tiff, how would you rate yourself on goal setting?
Oh, I am a 1. I am a solid 1 on goal setting. Kiera pushes me to set goals, and then I'm like, shoot, she's going to check in with me. I have not looked at these. I am a solid 1 for myself. And I don't think I've ever been as goal driven as you are, because I think you are just above and beyond, and it's fascinating to watch. But I spend so much time and dedication into other people's goals. You know, I set so many and help practices develop these goals and push for them, that I'm like, I'm just going to live my life. I'm just gonna be free and be me over here.
Exactly. Well, and I only asked that because I wanted to give you guys a spectrum. Tiff is a way better biller than I am. I am a really good goal setter. Tiff has a great friend in me to help her be a great goal setter. Like, just use your strengths. There's a really cool quote on the quote book that Tiff gave me, actually, which I'm obsessed with. It's probably one of the best gifts you've ever given me, Tiff. I use it every day and love it. But Earl Nightingale said, people with goals succeed because they know where they're going. I would put Kiera's asterisk next to that and say, if they can stay accountable, and if not, they need to have a coach to keep them there, because this will only work. It will only work if you stay accountable to it. All the work you guys just did, all the hours Tiff and I put into this labor of love quilt tied up with a red pretty bow for you, only works if you actually execute. That's it. So let's make it very simple. because the enemy of execution is complexity. So Tiff and I, you guys heard, like you could come into Dental 18 and be like, cool, I know my 3 things. We're going to rock and roll. We've got the metrics. We're going to have it in our weekly meetings. We've set those cadences up. So I'd say for you, know thyself. Are you a person who's going to stay consistent and by the end of the year hit the goals? If so, high five. Keep listening on the podcast. We'll catch you next year. If you're not, call us. Make this year different. Don't have 2023 be like all the rest of your years. Truly reach out, guys. We can help you radically, exponentially grow. If I had a Dental 18 consultant, if there was someone out there that's like, hey, I consult consulting companies, I would hire them in a second if I knew that they had the credibility. Guys, we do, and we're here to help you. So I'm going to challenge you guys to 1, set your goals this year. And the way to know that you actually set them is to actually put them in writing. So it's 1, set them. 2, email me, hello@thedental18.com. I see every one of these, so I'll be watching you. And there's 50,000 plus of you out there listening. So don't think that if I get 1 email, I don't see the rest of you 49,999,000 people out there that didn't do it. So 1, set your goals. 2, email me and commit that you're going to actually get these accomplished this year, that you truly took this challenge on and you're going to make a difference. And 3, if you know that you need help, that you need someone to hold you accountable, that you want to take the shortcut to success, guys, I promise you our ROI is out the roof. We usually are 3 to 4 times what you spend on consulting of ROI financially, not to mention the non-tangible ROI that we bring you of success, of confidence, peace, and joy. So reach out. That would be my 3rd challenge for you. 1, set your goals. 2, email me your goals, hello@thedental18.com. And 3, if you know you're that person that's ready to take it to the next level, who's not going to have the same year, that is truly going to crush their goals out of the park, let us know. We'd love to welcome you into our family. And as always, guys, this is your year to be whomever you want to be. This is the time. So don't let time go away. Don't get hyped on life that you just set goals and you did all this work. Execute and become the person you've always dreamed of being. Be somebody that yourself would be jealous to know. Like, be someone that you'd be so proud to know because you follow through on your commitments. You get the help necessary. I have freaking coaches all the time. Tiff knows this. I've got 3 of them. They hold me accountable. They push me. They give me motivation. I've got mentors. I don't do this alone because I've got willpower and grit. I do it because I've got an army of mentors around me that are 100% dedicated to making sure I succeed. And that's what Dental 18 does with all of our clients. So Tiff, let's put a bow on this. Thank you for being a part of this labor of love. It was more magical than I ever could have imagined it being. And I think it was because you and I, Tiff and Kiera Magic, we came in hot and truly made it happen. So Tiff, thanks for being a part of this. Any last thoughts that you've got that you want to wrap up with?
I'm just so excited to see. I want to hear what the goals are. Like, I want to hear the embarrassing. I want to hear the exciting. I want to hear all of the pieces. Like, what piece did you feel like you were really excelling at that you realized, I could do some more work? Like, you heard our vulnerabilities. And I think learning how to be vulnerable like that is what will create a good business structure for you.
For sure. So guys, this is your year. This is the time to kick it off, to have it be amazing. And if we can be a part of that success, we are rearing and ready to go. Tiff, Dana, Britt, myself, we live to consult. We live to make your life easier and to help you reach the goals that you only imagined in your dreams and make those a reality for you. So reach out, hello@thedental18.com. You can text me, 801-885-5351. That really is my phone number. I will respond to you. I will cheer you on. Very few people take me up on this, but guys, you literally have someone who's in your court who has the secrets to your success and is willing to share every last one of them with you. So join us. Join our group of Doctors of Elite Doctor Mastermind. Join our masterminds for all the different team members. Get your operations manual done with us this year. Get your goals with customized consulting. Have us come to your practice. It truly will be life-changing. And this year will never, ever be the same again. And it's up to you to decide. So as always, guys, thanks for listening. Cheers to the best year, to the best you. And I'll catch you guys next time on the Dental 18 podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental 18 podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.